Bill, it's such a pleasure to see you here in Davos. I know you've been carrying the backpack with you throughout the day. Is it heavy?
Oh, no. It's just showing people some of the great new tools, very low-cost tools that can improve health, particularly in poor countries.
Your team already brought some of them out of the pocket. So maybe you can tell us what these are and why they are crucial.
Well, the first one here is a vaccine. This is called HPV vaccine. These are made in China, India, and the US with partners. We're getting the cost down, and we've proven that a single dose can protect women from cervical cancer. Today, most women don't get this vaccine, but we should get it to all the women in the world. And because we proved that a single dose is enough, that's very economic to do.
Timeline to do this?
It's under manufacture now. We've started to roll it out. The regulatory approval's all there. And so, over the next several years, we just have to get that coverage up.
You're not afraid that people would accuse you about the vaccines and the related issues?
Well, it's unfortunate that there's some confusion about, the most miraculous health tool ever. Vaccine hesitancy's always been a bit of a problem. The pandemic, it went up, but now we're trying to get the word out that you want to protect your kid from measles or your daughter from cervical cancer. Vaccines are the main reason we've been able to cut childhood death, which is over 10 million at the turn of the century, down now to about 5 million. So vaccines are miraculous, and we have a lot of partners in China who help us with that work.
Will common sense come back soon?
It's person by person. They have to hear from people they trust that they should be protecting their child.
I would love to talk about trust a bit later. That's an important topic. Tell me more about this.
Yeah, so this one's kind of amazing because historically, only in rich countries would you get this ultrasound scan. The machine was expensive and training the technician was expensive. Now, by using very cheap hardware and AI software, we can take a woman who's pregnant and see, is there any challenges? And so she can know, does she have to go to a medical center to do the delivery, or will it be a unchallenging delivery? And that can save almost half of the lives if you know in advance who needs the special treatment. So it's a wonderful example of advanced AI, but on behalf of equity.
How expensive is this?
The actual hardware is about $1,000, and that'll even come down. We have a number of partners in China. We have Philips, which is in Europe, that'll be making this. Because a single device can be used thousands and thousands of times, the cost per delivery is less than $1.
All right. Well, we see all these latest developments. Congratulations, you need to carry the bag. More than just today, right? Having said that, though, money is an important issue. $8.4 billion, that is the latest budget you have for the foundation for this year, increased compared to last year, even more than year before. But will this money be used smartly? Given the fact that the budget of healthcare, especially for common folks, really have been going down as a result of pandemic and economic situations, Bill?
Well, the foundation funds a lot of invention of new tools like the HPV vaccine or the ultrasound. And then we, with partners, fund delivery. We're very careful to make sure our money is very high impact. But the challenge we have today...
And you're very involved in that.
Oh, sure. The challenge is that the amount of money that goes to poor countries, the aid money, or even the cost of loans that they take are working against them. And so they have to be even more effective, prioritize the primary health care, prioritize vaccination, or this decline in deaths that we've seen, where our goal is to get from that 5 million down to 2.5 million. We wanted to get there by 2030. The pandemic and the financial issues mean we won't get there by 2030, but the sooner the better. And by keeping global health visible, by increasing overall aid budgets so they can handle new things and still do things like buying vaccines, then we can maintain that progress. But it means we have to talk about global health and have it be top of mind of improving lives all over the world.
I'm afraid it's not just about talking about the global health, isn't it? If you look at what people are discussing within their economies, they're looking at their own priorities, knowing that there are global challenges they need to handle together. But when it comes to priorities for action, it seems that the global challenge is always going to the back of the list. So how do you see this kind of thing going on, especially between the so-called global north and global south?
Well, we need to build on the successes we've had. We need to make people aware that you're saving lives for very little money. As you save those lives, those countries over time become self-sufficient. But whether it's agriculture or health, you need to help them make that bootstrap. China is a great example of a country that is now very self-sufficient and helping other countries. And the R&D budgets in China that can develop new vaccines, develop better seeds, better livestock genetics, those things can help China and help the countries that aren't as far along as China is, including those in Africa. And that's why the Gates Foundation has a very strong office in China and builds partnerships with the governments and all the companies there.
You've been interacting with different generations of Chinese leaders, even during recent years when the geopolitics becomes such a challenge. What is your takeaway from the conversations and the logic behind the conversations? How do you see a China, as some say, in transition?
Well, China in 1980 was poorer actually than India. And so both in China itself and the world benefiting from China, we were at a low point. Today, China's making inexpensive products that benefit the world. The health statistics in China have improved very dramatically. I never did meet Deng Xiaoping, but every leader since then I've had an opportunity to sit and talk to and talk about common goals like reducing TB. China's making the most progress. We're a partner in helping with this, reducing TB in China and then making the tools that can go help other countries as well. So, there's a lot of win-win things, whether it's between Gates Foundation and China or even China and other countries.
You mean U.S.?
Oh yeah, including the U.S. Working together on climate innovation, all of these different health challenges. And so, the more the relationship can be about the win-win, I think the better off we all are.
Can we navigate this year?
It's challenging, as you have various wars breaking out, people take different positions.
Elections going on.
Elections, a lot of tough talk may come out of that, but I'm hopeful. We've come a long ways, and we owe it to the global South to have levels of cooperation that can lift them up to the levels that we almost take for granted.
About AI, we see a lot of great discussions going on regarding the AI governance vis-a-vis the speed of development of the technologies, if we really know how fast the technology is developing. How do you see the real nature and the stage of discussion so far about this?
Well, AI's being able to read and write is a very new thing. That was Microsoft working with OpenAI with ChatGPT-4. It was the first time it was good enough that you could say it's a help for white-collar jobs. So things like technical support or programming or sales calls, it now can drive productivity. And we need to let that get out in the economy, make sure that it's accurate, particularly if it's doing things like giving health advice, get it into the education system so students have an individual tutor that knows about their state of knowledge. And although we need to educate the government people, it's only as it rolls out that you'll see, okay, where is it good and should be accelerated, and where are the challenges? Like, is a bad guy using it for a cyber attack? So you need an even better AI that helps you do cyber defense.
governance usually lagging behind the real technology development. You know that so well. Meanwhile, we also see people are making efforts in order to have some kind of governance. Your earlier conversation with some of the tech entrepreneurs shows that. You're also somewhere doing the example of nuclear issue, how that was managed earlier, decades ago. Do you think this is comparable at all?
Well, mankind has had challenges when we have powerful technologies. We can make, in biology, we mostly improve human health, but we have to worry that somebody would use that to create a bioweapon, just like we worry about nuclear weapons. We've done a good job so far with nuclear weapons. We still have to be vigilant to make sure that they never get used. And I feel confident with AI that the same type of dialogue, the same type of understanding of what the good uses are and accelerating those will make sure it's a net benefit.
The meeting this time about trust. We know that is the toughest issue, rebuilding trust. To you, how do you articulate that on the personal level? And also, how do you articulate that on the issues that you're passionate about?
Well, we're working on common goals, making sure women survive childbirth, making sure kids have nutrition. That really brings us together. And all the rich countries, but particularly China and the US, have a lot to bring to that. Big R&D budgets and ways they can help. In areas like climate, we want innovation from both the countries to come together to have very low cost. We can adopt green technologies as they are less and less expensive. And so both countries really have both a responsibility and an opportunity to contribute to that. So dialogue's important. The pandemic reduced the amount of dialogue quite dramatically. People weren't traveling. So I, as soon as I could, went back to China and spoke to not just President Xi, but all our partners there. And so as that kind of discussion resumes, I'm hopeful that we'll have more of the win-win type engagement. Mm-hmm.
Bill, such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for your generosity of time.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you in China again.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir.